Hello hockey fans, and welcome to Zamboni Simulator 2019. This game was released just a few days ago actually, and is one of only a handful of actual hockey games on Steam that isn't a goalie VR title or a management game that's essentially just a giant Excel spreadsheet. So I figured we'd give it a go and see if it's any good. Now obviously, with a name like Zamboni Simulator, we're not exactly expecting very much here, are we folks? Especially given the reputation that these simulator games have garnered over the last few years. But what really caught my attention and made me want to make a video in this was the description given by the developers on the game's store page. Zamboni Simulator 2019 is a brief but meaningful drive into the depths of a working-class everyman. A professional ice resurfacer for a semi-pro hockey team, our main character has had a life full of love and sorrow, a life of popularity gained and lost, and a life of families formed and broken. In this game, you will live the exciting life of a professional ice resurfacer. You'll be able to do the most intricate and complex parts of his job, including turning on the resurfacer, raising and lowering the resurfacing blade, driving in all 4 directions, and most importantly, contemplating life, absurdity, nihilism, and death. Oh. This game's fully voiced narration will lead the player on a non-linear story through the emotionally complicated mind of Cyrus. You will listen to him recount his story to you as you take control of his actions to resurface ice as quickly and neatly as you can. This game will pose the tough choices to the player. Choices such as, do I do clockwise or counterclockwise circles around the ice? And, well, that's it really. Even that doesn't really matter. Nothing matters. Or does it? Doesn't sound like a typical simulator game now, does it folks? By the sounds of it, it's going to tackle some pretty heavy topics for a game about being a Zamboni driver. So buckle up folks, and if you're kind of sensitive to all of that stuff, do take this very carefully, alright? But enough talking, let's jump right in and give Zamboni Simulator a try, shall we? I've just noticed in the top right hand corner that it says that this was a game created for the Philosophy Game Jam in 3 days. Now I've got to be honest folks, I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. We might play this game and go, wow, they did all of this in 3 days? Or it might be terrible and we'll go, it took them 3 days to make this? I mean, they've made more video games than I have, so I can't really judge, but 3 days is not much time at all, so fair play, fellas. Oh, well, we're not starting off very well if we've been given an employee warning notice, are we, folks? Employee Q91's remarks about his manager's appearance were rude and unhelpful. We understand Q91 was merely projecting, but it was hurtful nonetheless. This is a really brilliant start for HS Cyrus, isn't it? I know you're just an ice resurfacing technician. You can't even spell technician right. What is going on at this place? We need some dictionaries in this place. Quick, stat, let's go. Oh, pretty. I do quite like the visuals, to be honest. Chapter 2, Demotion. Well, that doesn't bode very well, does it? God, we're going from one bad thing to another. First we insult our manager's appearance, now we're gonna get demoted. I must be either really tiny or this Zamboni must be absolutely huge. Am I like one of Snow White's 7 dwarves driving this Zamboni? Are Zambonis this big compared to a standard average human being? I'm not 100% sure. I don't work for an ice resurfacing company or anything, or for an arena. But I feel like that Zamboni is absolutely huge compared to us. Maybe we need to get some growth spurt stuff going on. Look at the scratches in the ice over here. Look, the detail, I've got to admit, for what the game is, the detail is very nice. All the scratches from the skates in the ice. Right, let's get in the Zamboni, see what we do. E, enter Zamboni. Okay, so this is the Zamboni. I feel like king of the world now. I'm so tall. If I get out, look how small I am. Now I'm the king. I'm in charge of this ice rink. Left click, turn on Zamboni. Okay, Zamboni's on. Oh, light here. Left click, raise ice resurfacer. Okay, well, I've raised it. Well, I don't want to raise it, do I? Oh, I can click my horn. Hey. Oh, yes. Now we're talking. Well, I wasn't expecting that sound to come out of that horn. Jesus. So let's lower the ice resurfacer, and I think it's the W, A, S, and D keys. There we go. Okay. We're on the move. Look at me, everyone. Look at me, world. I'm now a Zamboni driver. This is great. This is so much better than, like, NHL 2K 10 or 11's Zamboni driver. I think I've already crashed into the side, but I'm going to do the best job I can to, like, resurface this ice. I'm going to go round the very edge. By the looks of it, it doesn't matter if I smash and destroy everything, so... Oh, you can see the ice, like, underneath us going. That's pretty cool. I don't want to, like, be driving into the wall, but I want to kind of be going close enough, you know?
I just wanted a drink, you know? I messed up my best shot, and that'll drive anyone to go overboard. Dream job gone. Marie on my ass. A 1-year-old who wouldn't hardly let me sleep. It would make anyone want a few, you know? And of course, never one to argue against myself. I had a few. And, a few after.
Oh, so it's this kind of game. Oh, Cyrus isn't in a very good place at the moment, is he? Oh. I thought my job was just to be a Zamboni driver, but it looks like we're going right into his psyche, folks. Like I said, looks like it's a pretty crazy game, so if you're kind of sensitive to any of this stuff, I might suggest you get out now, because by the looks of it, it's not going to hold many punches. I love how there's, like, no support for the stands over there. It's just floating in the sky. God, if somebody sits on that, that's going to absolutely fall, and we're going to have a lawsuit on our hands. But, oh, look at that lovely little white I've got going around me. I'm such a great Zamboni driver. Okay, so we're almost halfway through the stuff we need to do already. God, we're going quite quickly. Let's beat the horn in celebration. Yay! So I love how we don't even have to, like, come out of the tunnel. Look, you can see the tunnel through there. Like, it's just a blank little cylinder sitting on the side of the map. I love it. It's great. I mean, so far, I feel like my Zamboniing is doing a decent job. Like, I can't complain, really, can I?
The little snot who was riding on the Zamboni with me wouldn't just shut up. My head was pounding. I told him where he could shove his Gretzky trivia. He's not called a great one because he was forgettable. I floored the Zamboni into a wall. Thankfully, these things aren't too fast, but it did leave a dent. Little bastard cried to his mom. She didn't seem to like me much anyway.
Oh, so not only are we going a little bit crazy and kind of very upset with our life, but we're insulting Wayne Gretzky as well? You always want to listen to Wayne Gretzky trivia. It's the most important thing in the world. My entire channel's basically built up on random hockey trivia facts. Come on, guys. The music is quite pretty, I've got to admit. It's just a solemn piano playing a couple of notes every once in a while. No chords or anything, but considering we're just driving around an empty ice rink with a bit of piano playing behind us, it's quite relaxing, I've got to admit. I mean, bar the obvious monologues from Cyrus the driver about how his life is going to hell and everything's going wrong, but other than that, it's a very, very peaceful drive, you know?
Tammy almost fired me. I could see the words on her lips. She was about to do it, but she's a bit of a softie, and boy, was I a pitiful sight. I think it helped that Marie came in to pick me up with Joshy in tow, so Tammy demoted me instead. Back to nights I went. I didn't mind. I'd been there before I'd done that. The titles are dumb anyway.
This guy is really not having a good time at the moment, is he? I mean, fair play to him. He keeps coming in, night out, resurfacing this ice, but God, he sounds like he needs some help. He sounds like he's at the end of his rope, to be honest, but oh, I've left a patch over there, but I'm going to go this way. Whee! I've left a patch over there as well. Oh, God. I've left so many patches on this ice. Oh, no. Driving my Zamboni to some piano music. Bright lights up above me. I'm so happy. Gonna hoot my horn. Yeah. It's so fun. Not going to raise the ice resurfacer because that would be really silly because otherwise I wouldn't actually get my job done. Drive the Zamboni every day. I'm driving the Zamboni so somebody else doesn't have to drive in the Zamboni because it's my job. I may have got demoted, but that's not a slog. I mean, my kid came to pick me up with my wife or girlfriend. It doesn't specifically say, but the boss was kind of nice to me because they came, and that's really nice. I didn't lose my job. And why would I want to lose my job? Look how wonderful it is. Look how peaceful. I'm so social with everyone here at the arena. Isn't it lovely? Oh, okay, there's a green tick by it, so it looks like we're done. Yep, the exit's open. Let's go then, I guess. The perfectionist in me really wants to finish this off, but considering there's a tick on it, I don't think they really care whether I finish it or not, to be honest. Like, the bar's not going up, like, above what it can do, so may as well exit and see what's next. Oh, I hope we get to Zamboni some more ice. This is just so exciting. Employee Q91 showed up to work drunk today, berated a child and crashed his Zamboni. He's darn lucky we don't fire him. I mean, that sounds like a pretty fun day if you ask me. He's a Zamboni driver, like, come on. He's got to find some fun in his job somehow. There's only so many times you can resurface a set of ice and find fun in it, you know? If you just got to, like, have a couple of drinks and tell a kid off for telling you about Wayne Gretzky and then crash the Zamboni, it's all good fun, right? Ah, so here we are again. Chapter 3, Rekindling. So, we got demoted last chapter, so let's see what happens this chapter. Still the same old rink, same old Zamboni. I mean, I guess we just get back to work then. Turn on the Zamboni. The ice resurfacer's already down. Wonderful. Okay, off we go then. I'm kind of curious if we exit the Zamboni, will it just stop? Oh, okay. I was kind of hoping it would crash into the wall again. We might get fired this time, but you know, you just gotta try it, you know? Another day, another set of ice to resurface. God, I hope the semi-pro team that we're actually doing this for is winning some hockey games, you know? If they're losing, it just wouldn't be worth it, would it?
So Janine's ex showed up at the house one day. I was halfway living there by then, staying over most nights, and I'd really started to bond with her kids. But, of course, her ex swoops in, and I'm immediately forgotten, discarded week-old leftovers. Okay, he didn't seem so bad. He thanked me for hanging out with his kids while he and Janine were on the outs. Condescending prick, yeah, but I got the message.
Ah, so not only is he struggling with his job, getting drunk and shouting at kids for loving Wayne Gretzky, but he's also having a problem with his relationship also. Oh, this guy Cyrus is just living such a tough life at the moment, isn't he? Jesus, I feel like I want to give this Cyrus guy a hug. I gotta be honest though, I don't really have much to say. I'm just kind of waiting for Cyrus to say something and then respond to it, because, I mean, we're just kind of doing the same thing as we did last chapter. It's very peaceful, but then again, I don't really know what to talk about, so I'm not sure this game's the best for, like, a YouTube commentary video, you know? Let's re-ice the surface on the Zamboni. Let's use the Zamboni to re-ice this thing. Elite strats. Oh, let's teach the hacks of how to use a Zamboni, you know?
When Janine got home that evening, she made it pretty clear that she and the ex were going to give it another try. I told her to keep a baseball bat handy, just in case. Determined not to cause a scene, I left and headed over to our usual dive to take in the local scenery. At the time, I felt this was a sign of personal growth.
Poor Cyrus, man. Like, I know that he's a drunk and he's not very good at his job and he berates kids that talk to him about Wayne Gretzky, but God, he's basically just been turfed out again. He thought he might have found the love of his life. He's found someone he wants to spend time with. He started to grow attached to her kid, and then they've decided to just get back with the ex, so he's kind of thrown out on his own again. God, I mean, say what you want about this Cyrus guy. Sounds like he's got it tough, you know? He's obviously not very good at his job, and he's got his own flaws, but doesn't everyone? That's the best thing to take away from this game. Everyone has flaws, but it doesn't mean you can't make the ice perfect. I don't know how this is, like, almost done. Like, I've kind of left out the entire middle chunk of the ice, so if they want to do some battling against the boards, they've got some solid ice there, but they want to take it up on, like, an odd man rush or on a breakaway, yeah, they're not going to have much luck here, are they? Resurface the ice. This Zamboni's my only desire. Resurface this ice, 'cause I need your Zamboni.
Many too many whiskeys later, I ended up on Marie's front lawn, absolutely certain about the pointlessness of existence. I felt she deserved to know. Marie appeared at the door saying that she just called the cops and I had a few minutes before they'd get there. I got in my car to leave, but it took me too long to remember how to start the damn thing. 1 step forward, 2 steps back, what's past is prologue, all that. I spent the night in the drunk tank and missed my next shift at work.
I mean, like, I tried my best, you know? Like, considering I'm playing as a drunkard, I'm doing the best that I can, folks. Poor guy. God, he goes back to the woman, tries to win her over, but I mean, he's way too drunk, so he doesn't stand a chance anyway. God, I've got to admit, this game does tackle some really tough issues. Like, obviously, it's a very sort of isolated, unique incident where we're just hearing a guy talk about it. But, geez, that's rough. Oh, we're gonna get there, we're gonna get there, we're gonna get there. Oh, come on, say it's ready to be done. Oh, I'm right there, and it doesn't let me finish it off. Gonna have to go do one more loop again. I was so ready. I mean, the ice for the most part is pretty good. I mean, I'm leaving the goalie's crease a little bit poor, so hopefully this is where the away goalie's going to play for the 2 of the 3 periods. So then he's not very good at getting the angles and everything, and then we can win. But, you know, I'm just trying to give the home team as much of an advantage as possible, you know. If I know the other team's game plan, I can kind of manage the ice accordingly. If I make sure that their crease is really bad so the goalie can't move very well, if I make sure that their side of the ice isn't very good, then everything will be fine, you know. Hey, the exit's open. Let's go. Faster, Zamboni! Faster! Faster! Take me away, oh glorious cylinder! I'm ready! Employee Q91 missed a shift without calling in. He used his one phone call to instead check movie times for his day off. It's kind of funny, but it's also really, really sad, I've got to be honest. Oh, and we're on probation for 994 days. I don't think we're going to keep this job much longer, do you folks? I hope nothing happens to Cyrus, like, personally. I hope he just, like, loses his job and nothing crazy happens, but geez. Cyrus, you're really not helping yourself out, buddy. I feel like somebody around him just needs to give him a hug and tell him, everything's going to be alright, we're going to help you out, mate, but God, he just needs a bit of help right now, doesn't he? Groundhog Day begins again, I guess. Well, let's go back to the Zamboni. Chapter 4, High School. Okay, it's a reminiscent chapter today, I guess. Enter that Zamboni. I love how you can actually enter the Zamboni at any point. I can stand right at the front and enter the Zamboni, but I always go to where the seat and the steering wheel are. I'm really taking this simulator stuff seriously by the looks of it. Lower that and off we go. Another adventure, another day in Groundhog Day. Oh, I love repeating it every time. It's kind of like that movie Live, Die, Repeat, except we don't die and it never ends.
Oh man, high school. Yeah, high school was pretty good for me. I was a star, the starting right wing for the Hornets. I'm sure you saw the papers back then. We were unstoppable. Oh, back then I spent very few Friday nights alone. It was a pretty big school, and I cut a swath through it. I was even scouted at one point, but not much came of it. Wasn't in the cards.
We all know one person whose best days were in high school, don't we? That one person that kind of clings on to that high school vibe, and they were the big shot in high school, and that it was the time of their lives, and everything since has been incredibly downhill. Maybe not to the point of Cyrus here, but we all know somebody like that, don't we, folks? And if you don't, you're probably that person. I hate to break it to you.
With no backup plan, I had nothing. I graduated on time, which is about all that can be said about that, so I took a job at the rink. Ice-resurfacing technician, junior grade for the Tundra. Joke of a title, but there you have it. The girls disappeared. The friends. Everyone. I married the first woman who was interested. Why not? It's what people do, right?
Things really did go downhill from high school then, didn't they? I mean, there's nothing wrong with being an ice technician or a Zamboni driver or anything like that, don't get me wrong. I think it looks like a really good job, or it looks really fun. I mean, obviously, like, from the outside, it's probably a lot more fun than it is when you're actually doing it. But geez, this guy is really not having a good time. It's kind of the only thing I can say on repeat at the moment. It's like, oh, this guy's really struggling. It's kind of like nobody probably notices this, and I guess what the game's trying to go for here is, like, we all know somebody like this, and if we actually took the time to listen to, like, what's going on in their lives, that maybe that might help a little bit. Obviously, it's tackling some really, really interesting topics here, and it's very narration-based, which I do love a good story game.
We had to struggle to figure everything out together. Neither of us exactly came from good homes. My dad beat the hell out of me, and let's just say her dad was worse. But the way I saw it, graduating high school was something above expectations for both of us. We did okay at first.
I'm just here to drive the Zamboni. I wasn't really expecting there to be some sort of internal existential crisis going on here, but I mean, if you drive a Zamboni around the ice day after day, maybe this is what happens. Zamboni drivers, look after yourselves out there. I'm thinking of you, alright? Oh, we're almost there. Hey, and we're done. Wonderful. Come on, let's get ourselves off this ice, Cyrus. Let's go look after ourselves. Come on, cuboid or cylinder. I could call it the cylinder, but it's probably more of a cuboid, isn't it? Come on, cuboid of exiting. I'm ready. Do they really need an exit sign that huge? It's almost going to hit the bloody Zamboni. Take me away. Fade me to black. Let's press the horns. It happens. Take me. Employee Q91 informed me of his distaste for the new uniforms, saying the old one was just as good. He tossed the new one in the trash and clocked out. I mean, you're really not helping yourself here, Cyrus. Like, obviously this is kind of a small issue, but like, you're wanting to keep your job, right? At least we're not on probation anymore. Hey, wow, are we still doing that job for another 994 days? Jesus. That's another, what, 3 or 4 years? Oh my goodness. Another day, another Zamboni. Chapter 5, Relapse. Oh, well, this isn't going to be a good story either, is it? You know what, guys? I'm going to do it differently this time. I'm going to go to the right. I'm going to go clockwise. Is it clockwise? I guess it is, if we're in terms of the way the Zamboni's looking at the beginning. Yeah, we're going to go clockwise. We're going to go round the right-hand side. I mean, they said that's one of the choices you can make in this game, so make that choice I shall, developers.
Marie got caught up with this albino Urkel-looking guy she met on the web. My kid won't shut up about him. Ted took us mini golfing. Ted is afraid of moths. Ted stayed over 3 nights last week. You'd think the asshole cured cancer for a living. I tried to pick up an overtime shift to get Joshy this Call of Duty thing that he keeps asking about for Christmas, but Tammy gave the shift to Eric just because his mom's on dialysis. Ted just bought the game for him because it was Tuesday. Says Joshy can join his clan and they can talk to each other on the headsets while they play with all these online weirdos every day.
I mean, come on, Cyrus. I know you want to win the kids' affection, but, like, insulting online gaming? Come on, man. That's what some of all of us have got. I just want to play some Call of Duty every once in a while, maybe some NHL. I know you're going through a rough time, Cyrus, but geez, you've got to insult Xbox Live as well. PSN's not that bad either, you know. Come on. If you're going to take out your anger on some online gaming, why don't you do it against something useless, like Nintendo Switch Online or something like that? Come on, at least pick your enemies right. Oh, I'm being so risky and going right down the middle this time. Look at this. Look at the terror in my wig. Okay, I'm not exactly going right down the middle, but I thought I'd just do like a massive patch down the middle, because why not?
My buddy Jack told me that Ted needed some sense knocked into him for trying to play dad. I banged on Marie's door, and Ted answered in a robe, which made it worse. I told him to stop defiling my kid's mom, and I gave him a good one. He crumpled on the ground, and then the floodlights. The milquetoast loser conceded after all. He brought the cops to a fist fight. Ted thanked them and then asked them not to charge me. The police report triggered a reinstatement of the restraining order. No visitation, no joshing. 3 days until I would have had visitation. No one cared about the 4 months I'd been good. One slip up and it's back to square one.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from, Cyrus, but at the same time, man, like, just don't go and punch your new wife's partner or your new girlfriend's partner. Like, come on, man, it's kind of simple. I know it really sucks for you, mate. I'm trying to fight for your cause as much as I can, man, but you're really not helping me out. It's kind of like a movie villain that's like, oh, but I am really good now, look at me. But then you look back at their track record and they've, like, murdered loads of innocent people. Like, come on. You're not really helping yourself out much, are you, mate? Driving my Zamboni, gonna sing a song. Driving my Zamboni, hope it doesn't take very long. 'Cause all I do is drive this Zamboni every day. It's really getting on my nerves, can we finish up right now?
Why did I do it? Why did I do it? It's not the darkness that gets to me, but the monotony, the repetition. I stared at the light on the ceiling fan kicking the chair under me across the room. I barely started to feel the loss of air when I heard the bang of the fan hitting the floor. Can't even deconstruct myself. The failed failure. And now I need a new ceiling fan. And another drink.
Yeah, I don't think that extra drink's really going to help that much, is it, Cyrus? Like, obviously, coping mechanism, I get it. But, are you sure about that, mate? Maybe just get the new ceiling fan, spend the money on the new ceiling fan, especially now it's getting to summer, like the ice is bloody melting enough as it is. Get yourself the ceiling fan, think about the alcohol afterwards, you know? Baby steps. Hey, but we're done now though, so that's good. Let's just finish off these last few bits. And I think we'll be on our merry way, folks. Come on, get this last bit done. Missed it, go and get it. Oh, is that one little patch in the ice? Let's go, finish this exit. Finish this exit? That doesn't make any bloody sense, Odd Man Rush. Finish and go to the exit. And go. And go. And go. I just want this Zamboni to have a bit of a turbo mode on it, you know? Let's get like a V8 engine in this bad boy. Let's see how quickly we can resurface the ice after that. Employee Q91 showed up an hour late and dishevelled, with what appears to be drywall in his hair. However, he performed his tasks adequately. The tardiness was the only thing of note. Oh, and we've been put on probation again for 122 days? Oh, come on, guys, give us a break. And on that rather disappointing note, I think this is a really good place to end today's video. I've got to admit, Zamboni Simulator 2019 is the definition of repetitive in terms of the actual gameplay. I mean, that you can't really do much else other than get in the Zamboni, drive the Zamboni around the ice and clean the ice. Every single level seems to be exactly the same. There's not really any sort of variety in the gameplay, which I guess goes in hand with it being made in 3 days. There's only so much you can do in 3 days. However, the story and the narration in this game seems rather interesting and has kind of piqued my curiosity a little bit. So do let me know in the comments below if you'd be interested in me making another video in this game. If you guys are interested in the story enough and see where it wants to go, or you want to see how things happen and what transpires, do let me know in the comments. I will make another video if you guys want it. If you don't, tell me that the game was boring and you never want to see it again. I guess that's one way to do it. But thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you have enjoyed. Please feel free to like, subscribe, share, or watch some of my other videos. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye. A big thank you to Auntie Hannanen, Chris Gadsby, Connor B, Paul Mallia, Jordan Whitehead, and Martin Tolness, as well as a huge thank you to Max Artis for helping support this video via Patreon. If you too want to help support the channel a little bit further and get a shout out at the end of every future video, make sure you head over to patreon.com/oddmanrush and become a patron today.